Hey guys, here's a short video on simplifying rational expressions. So rational expressions are expressions that have a fraction in them, like a over b. Now the rule for simplifying rational expressions is that if the top and the bottom have a common factor, then that factor can cancel out. So for example, if I have 6 over 4, 6 is the same thing as 3 times 2. 4 is the same thing as 2 times 2. 2 is a factor of the numerator, 2 is a factor of the denominator. So because it's a factor of the top and the bottom, it can cancel out, and 6/4 is the same thing as 3/2. Now notice you can't cancel something like this. 6 is the same thing as 3 plus 3. 4 is the same thing as 3 plus 1. I can't cancel the 3 and 3 and have that equal 3 over 1, right? Everyone knows that 6/4 is not the same thing as 3 over 1. So the problem here is we didn't cancel things that were a factor of the top and the bottom. So as another example, let's do 8 over 12. 8 is the same thing as 4 times 2. 12 is the same thing as 4 times 3. Because 4 is a factor of 8 and 4 is a factor of 12, then they can cancel out. They're common factors of the numerator and the denominator. Again, I cannot do something like this. I can't say 8 is 2 plus 6, 12 is 2 plus 10, and cancel off the 2's and say this is 6/10, because that's not going to be the same thing as 8/12. That's not going to be 2/3. Okay, so now let's bring this over to x's. Let's say I have something like this. 2x plus 4 over x plus 2. What I'm looking for is a common factor. So let's first of all factor the top. 2x plus 4 is the same thing as x parentheses x plus 2. On the bottom we have x plus 2. And I could put a 1 here if I wanted to. So here I have it in the form where instead of having it be two things added together, here are two things that are multiplied together. And now, because they're multiplied, I can look, these guys have a common factor of x plus 2. X plus 2, I can cancel those off, and the whole thing is just equal to, oh, sorry, let me go back. You're probably looking at this saying, wait a second, Mr. McMullen. You didn't factor the top out right. And you would be correct in saying that. There we go. That's much better, right? Okay, so here, top and the bottom have a common factor of x plus 2. That can cancel off, and the whole thing's equal to 2. Okay, so let's do a couple questions like you're going to see on the quiz. I want you to do these first. So go ahead and pause the video and simplify this. Okay, hopefully you've worked that out on your own. We're going to factor out an 8 on top. And on the bottom, 24 is the same thing as 8 times 3. X squared is x times x. So now instead of it being two things added on the top, it's two things being multiplied on the top. And because we have multiplication, then 8 is a factor of the top, 8 is a factor of the bottom. That can cancel off. And so now I have x plus 1 over 3 times x times x. Now can I cancel these x's? And you're saying, no, you cannot cancel those x's because x is not a factor of everything on the top. You can't cross things off if there's a plus in between them. You can only cross things off if there's a multiplication in between them. Okay, one more. So the final answer on that guy, if you're not there yet, is x plus 1 over 3x squared. You cannot simplify that any further. Okay, the next question is what you're going to see on the quiz. Let me write it out, and you give it a whirl before you listen to me solve it. Ooh, that's bad handwriting. Try that again. Okay, so give that a go. Okay, we're back together again. On the top, we can factor out a 5. And notice these guys also have an n in common. Not only one n, they have two n's in common. So we're going to factor out a 5n squared. And now we're going to do n minus 3. Now always use the distributive property and check 5n squared times n is 5n cubed. 5n squared times 3 is going to be negative 15n squared. So that all checks out. On the bottom, how we're going to do these. So 6, we're looking for numbers that multiply to be 6 that add to be negative 5. Negative 2, negative 3 are going to be our best numbers for that. So now what we've done is instead of having it be a number minus a number, now it's a number times a number. Instead of number minus plus, instead of 3 different numbers added and subtracted, it's 2 numbers being multiplied. N minus 2 is a number, n minus 3 is a number. And so because n minus 3 is a factor of the whole numerator, n minus 3 is a factor of the whole denominator, because the numerator and denominator have a common factor, boom, those guys cancel out. And my answer is 5n squared over n minus 2. So that covers the first couple of questions you're going to see, and hopefully that all made sense.